dive into authentic conversations about ourselves and our community, exploring topics that uplift and inspire us, from personal growth to social change. So grab your teacup and get ready to join the conversation. Welcome to Tanisha Talks Tea, where we dive into authentic conversation.
Feet down. I said, "Whoa!" I mean, it was, it was way up there. I mean, it was, and then it kept getting higher, and I heard some popping going on. I said, "Oh shoot, the electricity!" So I just opened the window and busted the screen out and jumped out. So.
And how deep the water was? I guess
waist
deep.
Yeah, it's right here.
That has to be like terrifying.
Yes, and I had to go real slow because I mean it was slick, and then the currents. I mean they were just.
Fortunately, the woman who lived in this apartment was not home when this flash flood happened. You can imagine what might have happened if she was. There is one concern though, that this flood, combined with every other flood, might be forgotten. But there are communities like this throughout Texas, and they need help. Everything that were inside these apartments, all the clothes, the furniture, electronics, are ruined. They're a loss. And in many cases, so are people's cars. The water was up to the dash.
Everything. I mean, all of this is mud. All of this is freaking mud.
Different towns, different rivers, same nightmare. The alerts came too late or not at all.
Well, I'm just worried that you guys might get lost in the shuffle.
Oh, I'm sure
You
that
know.
might happen.
Yes.
So that's why I told him, don't worry about it.
That's a high possibility, yeah.
You stay with us.
It's going to come down to neighbors
You'll be
helping
fine.
neighbors.
Yes.
Friends helping
Because
friends.
I mean they're still waiting. I would have been sitting over there waiting on the Red Cross, and they still haven't showed up. So I mean it's.
Mike at least was able to save his cat, but nothing else. Since 1913, according to the National Weather Service, 20 tropical cyclones or their remnants have dumped at least 15 inches of rain across inland Texas. This weekend was no different. One of the catalysts, Tropical Storm Barry. Its remnants helped fuel this entire disaster.
How a catastrophe like this happens is actually pretty easy to explain. It's because, quite frankly, the Guadalupe River Valley is one of the deadliest river valleys in the entire country. And here's why. The Guadalupe River itself comes from underground springs. So the force of the water typically isn't too strong. That's why you see here closer to the head springs, right across from Camp Mystic and Hunt, Texas, it's very narrow, very shallow. Further downstream around Kerrville, it gets deeper because of years of erosion. But typically, this is what you see. But the entirety of the hill country here sits on a limestone bedrock. So this limestone is very hard, very porous, and it doesn't absorb water like a sponge. Instead, it just passes water through. That's why this entire area is so prone and susceptible to flash flooding. Then you add in the worst case scenario. You have about a foot of rain falling right over the two forks of the Guadalupe River, and that water rushes and rises so quickly that people just didn't have enough time to respond. And that's how campers were literally washed away out of their bunks. Over 50 people, including children, are dead, dozens more missing, and the search continues now 24/7 as a dog with officers just alerted that there might be something in this clump of trees right in front of Camp Mystic. So now other officers are scrambling to cut through and pick through this mess of debris and tree limbs to see what may be in there.
No one saw it coming, but now that we have, what excuse do we have to let it happen again?
In western North Carolina, we are seeing catastrophic flooding. That includes Asheville, North Carolina.
Just over the mountains, much of Asheville, North Carolina is underwater this afternoon.
I-40 shut down in both directions between Tennessee and North Carolina.
The French Broad River is reaching record levels near the Biltmore estate.
The Buncombe County Sheriff says its office received more than 1,000 missing persons reports. Thousands of people are still without power and water. Areas of the city are completely underwater, trapping people without basic supplies.
We are here in Biltmore Village, where you can hear the emergency helicopters overhead bringing necessary aid to the people of Asheville. In Biltmore Village, the scene is pretty dim.
We thought we were hurting in our neighborhood, and then on the first day we took a drive out to see what we could find: water, food. We realized how lucky we were. There's telegraph poles that have been snapped like toothpicks. Trees down at the end of the roads, impossible to pass. I've not seen anything like it.
I knew it was bad, but you always hope that it's not going to be that bad, and this is just a fraction of what has happened to Western North Carolina. Raising two kids here in the mountains with my wife, we've gone to most of these restaurants together as a family. This community is so important to us, and what it's going to take to get Asheville back to what it was is going to be a long time.
Everything's gone. Our awning was above water. That's, 26 feet worth of water.
This was at a different level that we never could prepare for.
David Ross is the landlord and contractor for Casablanca Cigar Bar and other buildings in the area.
The level of devastation that I've received as a landlord is beyond my, understanding at the moment. I'm doing what I can because it's my community, my people.
Now that the water has receded, Ross is picking up the pieces with help from the community.
We have friends and customers and people who we met through this business just show up and help.
In some of their darkest moments, they are trying to find the light.
I think there's a lot of people that are still not even comprehending what they're about to come into, that own shops and businesses and people.
This is the register!
Oh my God.
It's like we found a treasure.
Despite the devastation, they are focused on the future.
We just gotta cry a little bit and move on.
I'm hoping for the best in people. I'm hoping for, the ability to rebuild and regroup. And again, I'm gonna do my best to help my community because that's what we do in these circumstances, right?
Our crews started in Biltmore Village and fanned out across surrounding communities, which led us to Swannanoa. A guitar that will never strum again. A calendar stuck in time. A blanket forever without warmth. All sights here in Swannanoa.
It's almost like you're watching a movie.
But for Emily Russell, it's her new reality. After Hurricane Helene tore apart the home she's lived in her entire life while she was inside.
When I seen the water coming up and it kicked in my front door and then our back door at the same time, and within 30 seconds it went from starting to come to up to my neck.
She says she was stuck inside for more than 12 hours, sitting in a mixture of water and gasoline.
Do I jump out the window and try to float on something so that I'm not about to die and drown and smell gas? Or do I just sit in the bedroom and wait for help? The house is basically just going to be bulldozed. We've lost everything in it. So we're just staying with family and praying.
I got a truck wrapped around the tree there, my tractor, and a Corvette underneath the trailer over there, and a Mustang over there in the field.
Danny Bailey has lived next door since 1968. He was able to evacuate. Now, he's lost everything.
it's really hard to see other people that are way worse off than we are.
Fred Forster has lived just down the road for 24 years. He spent days digging the river silt out of his home.
We have already emptied 2 rooms. We've got 3 bedrooms yet to empty out and rip carpet out of.
It's hard work, made harder without running water, power, even cell service.
How do you clean your hands? There's no showers.
Forster says he's just glad he has a home still standing.
That all cuts pretty deep.
A community torn apart in just one day. The River Arts District was unrecognizable, once a thriving, cool place to socialize, visit art galleries, and gather with friends. Went from this to this in a matter of days.
I remember when we were building the River Arts District and what did Asheville's come to in the last 10 years, watching us build everything, and now just to see it like back to ground zero, it's devastating.
Water so high, it far surpassed the 1916 flood. This black line is where the waters were just days ago, a foot above the 1916 flood line.
I didn't realize how bad it was because I had no service, but watching it now, I can't describe it.
One man, Hartwell Carson, an environmental activist, has a vested interest in the health of the French Broad River. When he kayaked through the floodwaters, he couldn't believe his eyes.
There's an oil distribution place there, and the oil tanks were flipped over. We paddled up through a gas station, and gas was just coming out of the ground. You know, propane tanks floating by, trash and debris just coming out of buildings.
The same images everywhere you look.
And these are people's like hopes and dreams. You know, they put their livelihoods and their time and energy into building these businesses.
When I grew up, people talked about the blizzard of '93, and this is exactly, our generation's going to be talking about this forever.
On our way to Chimney Rock and Lake Lure, we stopped off in the Fairview community when we came across deteriorating roads and neighbors hard at work.
Neighbors in this Cane Creek community are busy shoring up this embankment, not only to prevent deterioration of their road into their neighborhood, but also that pipe you see there is their main source of water. They're trying to get water back as soon as possible, and they think this will help.
The electric conduit for our community crosses the creek under this bridge, and we're trying to get that clear enough that Duke can see there's no damage to their lines. If they can see that, they said they can turn us on in there. We're concerned it's going to be weeks, many weeks, until they're actually able to get water, potable water in the pipes up to us.
This neighborhood community doing all the work to help themselves. They've been disconnected from the outside world with no signal.
We don't really even know a whole lot of what's going on. We hear stories and then find out they were wrong because we don't have internet. So we kind of know that Chimney Rock and the town of Lake Lure are gone. Some other places have been wiped away.
And it's through pure determination and grit that they are able to keep going, keep helping.
One thing that we do know, right up on the bank here, there's several homes that were accessed from around the other side. They're not part of our community, but their bridge is gone, and they've been rappelling down the bank over here.
We live on the hill up here. I don't know how you can see it. I got some rope from the neighbors and put a little rappelling system to go up about, say, 22 feet of stretch here.
Right up this hill, the only entrance to Philip Buda Morgan's home.
You want to watch your step. If you take a tumble, you can come down on the concrete and the rocks, but basically, this is how I've been able to get a lot of supplies up this way.
He took me on the very steep path to his home that he had to carve himself.
Please watch your step.
He knew when he saw Cane Creek rising, it was going to be bad.
So I was seeing like hay bales, coolers, parts of vehicles, just full-on trees coming down the river, and
We begin this morning with the devastating and deadly flash floods in Texas. Jason Allen is on the scene with the latest from Hunt, Texas.
Desperate search teams combed the banks of the Guadalupe River in central Texas, hunting for survivors of a flash flood no one saw coming. A torrent of rain, as much as 10 inches, fell in just a few hours Friday morning. The river rose an almost unimaginable 26 feet in only 45 minutes.
I went outside my window and I see like the water's like all the way to the windows of the cars, and I get very scared.
12-year-old Alexis Nieve told us he thought it was a dream.
Hopefully I wake up and all that, but it wasn't.
Every single RV that was parked in here, it's gone.
Downstream, Lorena Guillen tried to wake up people who were spending the 4th of July at her campground.
It was pitch black. Nobody knew exactly where they were. And it was just the water. It was crazy, and it was keep racing.
All of the RVs and the cabins washed away.
Keep yelling.
So you're yelling back to her?
Yes.
At the water's edge, Natalie and Emily Rayford said they heard a child screaming for help.
And after about 20 minutes, we just see her pop up out of debris, and like she's
In a
you can
pile of,
barely
like,
see
wood
her.
and sticks.
She's as tall as the debris is.
Search teams are not just checking the river and flying above it with helicopters, but they're also having to scale the banks because the water rose so high it has left piles of cars and debris.
We will be relentless in going after and ensuring that we locate every single person who's been a victim of this flooding event.
Authorities have confirmed at least 50 deaths so far, 15 of those children. Perhaps most heartbreaking, the girls still missing from Camp Mystic, a Christian summer camp. The disaster has evoked memories of a flash flood here in 1987, when 10 teenagers died trying to escape a church camp. While search and rescue operations are expected to continue throughout the day, a special mass is planned this morning in Kerrville, Texas, for those who died and those still missing.
An unimaginable tragedy in Texas.
Hearing the screams, because you couldn't see anything, it was pitch black. Kids screaming, asking for help.
Historic flooding taking too many lives, destroying families and communities.
It's like mass destruction. It's like a third world war zone.
It's a horrible thing that took place. Absolutely horrible.
The Hill Country just starting to process its grief. The nonstop search for the missing continues.
You know, I've got 2 babies at home, and there's people out there that they're missing their children or their family members, so I feel like it's the least I could do to help.
As recovery efforts begin.
As I've said every time I've been before you, please pray for our community.
Tonight, people across the world have Texas on their minds. Statewide, the death toll from flash flooding stands at 78. Dozens more are missing tonight. Families have shared photos of victims who've died, those who haven't yet been found, and those who survived. It includes Eloise Peck and Lila Bonner. They were best friends from Dallas, summer campers at Camp Mystic after just finishing the 2nd grade, both lost in the flood. The director of that camp, Dick Eastland, also died. He was trying to save campers, according to the Kerrville Daily Times. He was a father of 4. These are just some of the stories we will share tonight and in the coming days. The most devastating loss is in Kerr County. 68 people died there, 40 adults, 28 kids. We have gut-wrenching new pictures from after the water receded at Camp Mystic. That is that Christian summer camp for girls. It's right on the banks of the Guadalupe River. Bunks are scattered. There is mud all over the floors and the walls. 10 campers and 1 counselor are still missing tonight. Today, some returned to the camp. An Associated Press photographer was there as a young girl sobbed over what she saw.
Aside from what happened in Kerr County Friday, 10 people died closer to Austin. In Travis, Burnett, Kendall, Tom Green, and Williamson counties, people were swept away by flash flooding on Saturday. Tonight, we have live team coverage from the hard questions about alerts and evacuations to the many lives lost. Our Chris Lawrence is leading our coverage from Kerrville. Chris, you arrived this evening. What did you feel when you caught your first glimpse?
Teresa, I think the first thing was that when it comes to these rivers, you can't take anything for granted, and that what may be true at any given moment may not stand. I want to give you a look behind me. You can see that tractor, overturned tractor there in the water behind me. We've also seen some flashes of light further out, which our search and rescue teams on the other side of the Guadalupe River. I did just speak with 2 state troopers who have been guarding some of the access points to get down here. They told me this section is higher than it was just a few hours ago, and they're monitoring it now as a precaution. I also want you to take a look at this. We did just get some new video from ABC News showing the Coast Guard conducting their search and rescue operations today. You know, they have been in the water and flying over the scene trying to locate any survivors. Now, these crews have access not only to thermal but night vision cameras, which not only allows them to identify any possible movement from the air, it also allows them to work around the clock.
Of course, we're a lot more productive during the day, but we search at night, and we're seeing some really good results, which is good. But bad news is you will see the death toll rise today and tomorrow.
Look, we know some families are praying for the best, that a loved one will still be found alive. And at the same time, based on the number of bodies that were recovered or identified today, on one level, we are bracing for the worst. As the search continues, there are mounting questions over what, if anything, might have given residents or campers more warning. And right now, officials are trying to determine if there was a gap in communication, and if so, where.
There can be all kinds of alert systems that are sent, and we know that some were sent, some general messaging was sent early, some urgent warnings were sent at various times, but just sending the message is not the same as receiving the message, having a plan to do something when you receive the message, and then the ability to implement that plan.
Yeah, obviously that's a thread we will continue to follow up on in the days to come. You know, speaking of, just to get some context on what's happening here, my colleague Joe Ben-Puneker has been here for the past few days. You've been reporting on the scene. Give us a sense of what changed today.
So we used to have access along Guadalupe River, Highway 39. Now it is controlled entry. So only residents, only first responders. I think what they were realizing is it was taking first responders way too long to actually get to these emergencies. And that's the sad reality of these things, because this is still an active search and rescue, and it is a fluid situation.
About 22 days ago, I started using the Japanese pink salt recipe, but I had to stop because I was losing weight way too fast. Just look at how slim my face is now. And the one who helped me was Dr. Now. Watch the video he sent me right after this.
No fluff. Let's get straight to the point. Apple cider vinegar, coffee, pink Himalayan salt, banana, and the last ingredient. I'll reveal it in the next 15 seconds. They tried to silence me. So now I'm going to teach you the exact recipe that mimics those magic weight loss injections without the nasty side effects. When combined, these ingredients create an effect 10x more powerful than a Manjaro shot. And like I said, 0 side effects. It's 100% natural, and you can make it right in your kitchen. When I say 10 times more powerful, I mean it. If taken the right way, this formula can help any woman over 35 shed so much weight, it'll look like she had surgery. Thanks to this Japanese pink salt trick, you don't have to hide under baggy clothes anymore or feel guilty going out for dinner with your husband. Just drink this first thing in the morning, and trust me, the weight will melt off. Just look at Oprah now, 37 pounds lighter. She started last month and hasn't gained a single pound back. No yo-yo effect, no sagging skin, no tired, worn-out look. Honestly, I know women who would pay thousands just to get their hands on this. So listen closely. If this video showed up for you, congrats. You got lucky. For the next 2 minutes, I'll be giving you access to a step-by-step video with all the ingredients and how to make it. To watch it now, just click the button below that says Learn More. But promise me something. Follow the exact amounts and go slow. This thing works so fast, you don't want to overdo it. Ready? Click the button now, copy the recipe, and you'll start noticing your genes getting loose, maybe even today. This is the secret to having the kind of body that turns heads in 2025. So if you're serious about losing those stubborn inches from your arms, thighs, and belly without starving yourself or killing yourself at the gym, tap that button and watch the free video. Oh, and inside the video, she also reveals 2 so-called healthy green foods that are actually destroying your metabolism while you sleep, plus 4 forgotten ingredients sitting in your fridge that, when combined right, turn your metabolism into a fat-burning rocket in under 48 hours. But a heads up, the website's been getting slammed with traffic and might go down any minute. If it loads for you, don't waste your shot, especially if you're done with dieting and tired of feeling judged at the gym. This same recipe helped Oprah rock a fitted dress without worrying about her belly showing. Now she wears what she wants, not just what fits. So go ahead, click the button below, watch the recipe, and get ready to clean out your closet because your clothes are about to get way too big. Get ready for the compliments. Ready for the change? Then tap.
Pictured here next to her best friend, Eloise Peck, were both attending Camp Mystic when devastating flooding hit Hunt, Texas. The two didn't survive. They were students in Highland Park ISD. The Highland Park community is now showing its support with green ribbons lining the streets.
It's absolutely heartbreaking just to know how many people were affected by this, how many even North Texans were affected by this, whether they had children that were camping there, they were on vacation. It's definitely affected our community as well.
Adam Evans with the Arlington Fire Department shared that fire crews were deployed to help with recovery efforts. The trained strike team is prepared to assist wherever they're needed.
That could be filling in at fire stations to run general medical calls. It could be structure fires. It could be search and rescue. Basically anything that area needs us for at the time.
And the need is great.
As the sun has returned and the rivers have gone down, now we're entering really a phase where, we're going to be called on to provide so much more.
Major Phil Swires is with the Salvation Army in Kerr County, one of the hardest hit areas by the floodwaters. Swires says it's usually the Kerr County Salvation Army coming to the aid when disaster hits. It's hard to take in that it's his community that needs help now.
It's something new for us where we're serving our own and we're dependent on other people coming into our town to assist us. And it's tragic for my community.
Swires says volunteers from across the state, including here in the Metroplex, have come to help provide food to people, offer support in shelters, and take in donation items.
It's amazing in the heartbreak that people are experiencing to see the goodness.
And give a sense of hope.
It is a lot of long hours, but we have had a lot of great people who have come to help us in this journey.
It really is incredible when disasters like this strike. You see the true heart of humanity. And if you want to help, Swires says the best way you can right now is to make a monetary donation. And we do have a link on our website, fox4news.com, where you can donate directly to the Salvation Army's flood relief efforts. The Arlington Fire Department says their strike team crew could be deployed for up to 10 or even 14 days. But Casey, they are prepared to be there for the long haul. Back to you.
Yeah, this is going to be a tragedy we are talking about for days, weeks, and months to come. People feel helpless, and just volunteering and doing things to help out, like you highlighted, Amelia, is so important. Fox 4's Amelia Jones live for us. Amelia, thanks for being part of the coverage tonight. Dallas Fire Rescue members are helping with the rescue efforts in Central Texas. A water group leader and a boat squad were sent to the San Saba Llano area on Thursday. A medical incident support team member and a rescue swimmer are on various missions across the region. Fort Worth Fire also deployed to the Texas Hill Country to help carry out water rescues and evacuations in San Angelo. Video shared on social media shows some of the rescues they were involved in on Friday. The department says 17 firefighters have been deployed to the area. They're working alongside Texas Task Force 1 and Texas Task Force 2. A time lapse captured in Llano County shows just how fast the water levels rose, and it is incredible. Look at this. The footage was captured by a surveillance camera near a low water crossing known as the Slab. It was recorded the night before the worst of the flooding in Kerr County. Water can be seen quickly covering the roadway and crushing trees as it filled up and spilled out of its banks. Law enforcement can also be seen on the other end of that crossing, frantically trying to block the road ahead of the rising water. This disaster eerily similar to a flooding tragedy on the Guadalupe River nearly 38 years ago in the early morning hours of July 17th, 1987. A wave of water from heavy rain upstream began surging downstream through Kerrville and eventually to the town of Comfort. Well, a church camp there began evacuating campers by bus, but one of the buses got stuck. And as teenagers and adults began racing to get to higher ground, the wave caught them. 39 teenagers, 4 adults from Seagaville Road Baptist Church were swept away. 10 of the teenagers drowned. Many of the others were clinging to trees and piles of debris when they were rescued. Just unimaginable, really. Chief Meteorologist Dan Henry is here with us on a Sunday night with more. And Dan, terrifying when we talk about how quickly this flash flooding can occur.
Yeah, it is. This is just so sad and heartbreaking to see these videos and hear these stories. It truly is. But this is one of the most flash flood prone areas in the entire country. We're talking about that area around the Guadalupe River. Here's a look at one of the reasons why this was so devastating and caught so many people off guard. At 3:45 in the morning on July 3rd, the river level at Kerrville was 1.7 feet, and about 45 minutes to an hour later, it was 24 feet. So we saw over a 22-foot rise in 1 hour between 3:45 and 4:45 in the morning, when many folks were asleep. And even no warnings were going out late at night into the midnight hour and well beyond that. Again, some of these folks just didn't know it until the water was literally rising where they were. This water then flowed downstream, and there was a 30-foot rise at Comfort 5 hours later. That's that 30-foot wall of water many were talking about. Now, today we had flash flooding as close by as southwestern Tarrant County, Johnson County, down in Bosque County, Somerville County. Believe it or not, some areas picked up 6 to 8 inches of rain, and yet north and east of Fort Worth, there was barely anything at all. Huge contrast there. Good news is that all this is really fizzling out and fading away. You can see our 12-hour time lapse here. There still remains a flood watch in effect for roughly another 40 minutes for the Hill Country, including Austin and San Antonio. The only flash flood warnings in effect now are down around New Braunfels and the San Antonio area. We have temperatures in the low to mid 80s at this hour. There will be some more scattered showers and thunderstorms brewing tomorrow. Once again, the better chances off to our southwest and south. More details on that and a look at some incredible rainfall totals over the last few days. Your full forward forecast coming up.
Dan, thanks. We'll be looking.
He has a friend with a sister who was attending Camp Mystic, fortunately saved, but another friend with a family member still missing.
With the rescues.
Right now we're hovering over the Guadalupe River about 40 miles down from where those camps were predominantly affected. This is where a lot of the debris has built up in this area.
The search for victims is made even more difficult by the dense forest below.
We got a FLIR camera on the front of the aircraft. You can see back there, it's that little black ball turret up there. But it is a very good camera that we have, and it's also an infrared camera, so we can find heat signatures.
There are growing questions about alerts and evacuations ahead of the floods. The Texas Department of Emergency Management warned of continued heavy rainfall and flash flooding threats 2 days before the disaster.
The moment of time when they knew the magnitude of the water, it's a difficult decision whether or not to begin evacuating people or not, because if you have a warning telling everybody to evacuate, you could actually lead them to their death.
And we're learning more about some of the victims who died. Dr. Catherine Eads was camping in an RV with her husband. The couple was separated in the floodwaters. And 27-year-old Julian Ryan, who leaves behind 2 young sons. His family says he tried to break through a window as the waters rose inside their trailer and suffered a fatal cut to his arm. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Kerrville, Texas.
Nearly 80 people are confirmed dead after flash flooding near the Guadalupe River, including children at an all-girls camp. And there are new evacuations and growing concerns as more rain threatens an already devastated region. Rescue crews are still searching for survivors, with 11 people still missing tonight. Ryan Chandler has more on the grounds.
Rising water threatening the Texas Hill Country tonight as so many are still missing along the Guadalupe. Families yearn for answers more than 60 hours after catastrophic flooding devastated.
Thanks for watching. Remember to show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing. It's a blessing. Keep your teacups filled and ready for my next upload. Until then, stay inspired and remember, always stay dipping.